I'm originally from Singapore, and a lot of my high school friends, after they graduated, they actually went to English-speaking countries like the UK or the US. But I wanted to try something different. I wanted to go to a country where I didn't speak the language well, and also I took Japanese for 4 years in junior high school. So I was like, why not? I want to challenge myself, and I was lucky enough to get the scholarship, and that's why I came to Japan.
I came to Japan because when I was doing my undergraduate thesis, I wrote my thesis on logistics and supply chain, and one of the topics was about logistic companies, and some of those companies were Japanese companies. So I came to Japan to study more about those companies. Simply because it's one of the best universities.
Osaka University is, one of the most prestigious university in Japan, and of course, their research is definitely so much better than the top university in Malaysia. So yeah, that's why I chose Osaka University.
I think there's 2 or 3 reasons for that. The first one is the Osaka University School of Human Science is the very first such school that got established in Japan back in 1972. So that was the first reason I'm studying at Human Science School now. And the second one is I wanted to be close to my host family that I lived for 3 months when I was 10 years old by the exchange program. So it was in Hyogo, so it's right next to Osaka.
And yeah, I did not regret coming to Osaka University. I like it.
I learning Japanese for 10 years. So I started learning Japanese when I was in my middle school. So after that, I couldn't take any Japanese classes at my school, but I watched a lot of anime and read a lot of manga. So through that, the cultural things, I learned the Japanese.
When I came to Japan last year, 2019, April, I didn't know any Japanese, but I began learning Japanese with CIEE. That gave me the foundation to know the language.
Actually, when I came to Japan, I only knew 5 or 6 words like arigato, konnichiwa, and sumimasen. I mean, these very simple words. And so I was relieved when I was told that during my first semester I was taking Japanese classes, and I said, okay, that is my salvation. Because actually I didn't know Japanese at all. And as I said before coming to Japan, I was working, so I didn't have too much time to study, prepare things to come into Japan. Actually, I was working a lot trying to finish all my projects and be clear and clean, and just came here to Japan. So I didn't have time to study Japanese, and I was scared because also even when the program is in English, in Cuba we only speak Spanish. We don't take a lot of English classes, so it's not a proper English education. And I was really scared because I said, okay, my English is not so good, I don't know Japanese, what am I going to do? Sila, you are crazy. But no, actually it was amazing coming here, and the Japanese course really saved my life.
The CIEE, they always support the international students, and it's always a great place to hang out with your friends at. And I think that's why it was a lot easier for me to make friends and to integrate into the Osaka University community. Yeah.
IRIS provide that for us. That the international students we have that place that we can go and we are always welcome and we can meet new people every day, because when you are going sometimes there are, people from Thailand, or the other day you can meet someone, from Tonga. Actually, I didn't know that country. Tonga, it's a very, very small country near New Zealand. And I met a guy from there and he started talking about Tonga and all the situation. And he said, okay, I didn't know that country.
We communicate. Whenever I have problem, I ask them. They help me. They are very, very helpful. Even when I was moving out from the dorm to my new apartment, they helped me with that and helped me. We went shopping together at Nitori because I didn't know much of the way to do, and they helped me a lot.
ESP mainly has two purposes. One is to become a bridge between Japanese students and international students, and another purpose is to support international students who might be having trouble like settling in Japan. The members there are not just Japanese students, but also international students are also part of it. So it's more like a really interactive organization, like international organization.
What we do on a weekly basis is that we offer language exchange for international students and local students alike, and we do welcome parties as well as campus tours, and offer advice, and we want the international students to use us as an outlet or use us as a way to connect to local students as well.
I think for BSP it will be like the welcome parties, and that's when you'll be able to like make friends with both Japanese students and also international students. Yeah, and there were a lot of like short-term exchange students that would join the parties as well. So the welcome parties are always like a good platform to make friends.
So my favorite BSP activity is definitely the food party, because I personally am really passionate about cooking and especially eating. So yeah, you can always find some food from outside of Japan in like some restaurants in Osaka, because there are a lot of restaurants around here. But one amazing thing about food party in BSP is that you can see the process and the meaning behind of each procedure, and also sometimes the history of the food, and being able to see every step of the way to make some delicious meal is something that I really love to experience.
A Japanese language cafe. So sometimes I did pop by and like talk to a few of them. So I think that's nice too. Yeah.
It was really good, and it helped me a lot to improve my Japanese, because you get to practice your Japanese with students who are willing to help you improve your Japanese, once a week, and yeah, it was like 1 hour, and it was very useful for me.
My favorite is the English Cafe. I myself make an effort to go to the English Cafe every week, and it's a very unique event in that we also try and cater for local students, Japanese students that have an interest in learning English, and we also ask for international students to volunteer. So there is it's a good chance for international students to experience the organizing side of BSP as well. So we have 3 levels. We have a beginner's level, intermediate level, and advanced level. Beginner starts with your introduction and very simple conversations such as what kind of food do you like, where do you like to travel. And as you go on in levels, for example, in advanced levels, we talk about world news, talk about the current problems that we're facing and how university students can overcome these problems. So there are a lot of levels that there are a lot of topics that we can cover.
Yeah, there was a French cafe. Actually, I wanted, because I could speak some French, I still can, and there was international students from France who could help, and they were around. I said, okay, let's have a French cafe. I don't want to forget my French, because I was so focused in Japanese, I couldn't practice French. So I was okay. If we have the chance, the international students are here. Why not? So let's have a French cafe, and then people like it. They come to Irish, and then we had this French cafe, and it was really fun.
OISA means Osaka University International Students Association, so it's a volunteer organization, and basically it's an organization for international students by international students. So every international students who are studying at Osaka University can join to OISA or in events or activities. So we host events to promote intercultural exchange, and also we help with daily life orientation too. And there's a lot of international students who came from all around the world, so you can get to know their cultures. Also, you can share your own country's culture, so it's a place to communicate and interact with people all around the world, share experiences and stories.
They also do this monthly introductions about their own country, right? About the members' countries, and I think that was a really good platform to really get to know each other, not just on a personal basis, but also on a cultural basis.
And my favorite OISA activity is sports festival. It usually held in November every year, and it's really fun. And not only international students but also Japanese students can join the sports festival. So there's various games like volleyball, dodgeball, basketball, soccer, badminton. So it's really fun.
I think OISA really lends a lot of support to international students. I think when I first joined, they even did for example, how to get a phone number in Japan, and I think even how to set up a bank account. And I think through that, a lot of exchange students who are not as fluent in Japanese was able to get some tips on how to live in Japan. So I think that is, how do I put it? It's not just physical support, but it's also emotional and mental support to know that there are other people like you. So I think that's a great thing.
Well, one thing is they foster relationship, communication between among foreigners and also foreigners to Japanese, and also the communities in there are very, how to say, welcoming. So if you don't have many friends when you just come to this new environment, OISA will definitely lend a hand to you, or you can just be friends.
Personally, before joining BSP, I felt very distanced from local Japanese students. I myself, as an international student, had a bit of trouble joining their group. But then through BSP, I've learned a lot of lessons on what Japanese students and international students are comfortable with. So in terms of that, I think that it has made me more understanding of different cultures.
The good part of studying abroad is not only knowing about the culture, for example, in this case of Japan, and because the culture, the Japanese culture is amazing. But a plus is that you are meeting like so many students from different countries. So you, in just one place, you can relate to so many students, so many cultures, and it's amazing. Actually, I've been learning a lot about Muslims or people from North Europe. I mean, there are so much cultures that, I mean, when you are in your country, you know those countries exist and they have different cultures, but the specific details are the important ones, actually. And for me, that has been the better thing going to Ireland, because you can meet different people from diverse countries, and that's amazing.
One experience that really changed me is how one of my best friends, who is a Muslim person, asked me if I wanted to join Ramadan just for one day, and I tried it. I didn't really know the meaning behind it, but I kind of started, like after that day, I started appreciating food a lot more, and what I take for granted is not always the case. It's not always normal to have those things. So the appreciation towards things that I take for granted is the biggest change in my view.
I really love the campuses. It's really huge and so beautiful. It's all green, especially at the springtime. The sakura trees look so beautiful. We don't have sakura in my own country, so sakura looks so beautiful. And also the teachers are so nice. The atmosphere in the lab is so nice too. So there's a lot of good things about Osaka University.
Yeah, I would say they are very concerned about how the foreign students adapting to the school life here. Yeah, and that's the one good thing I think about it.
Maybe in my lab, my supervisor is a very friendly person, and in my lab we have a lot of international students. We speak English, sometimes we speak Japanese, we help each other. I have like seniors in the lab who are very helpful, and the environment is good. You learn and you improve, and you have fun at the same time. We are more like a family. That's why I like it.
About Osaka University, I think the environment, it's like a really appropriated for like a different things, for doing research, for taking classes, and also for extracurricular activities. And international students are like a pretty much welcome, and the people are like a really warm. I mean, the environment is warm. I'm feeling that. So sometimes, for example, my friends, they tell me, because I'm from Cuba. Cuba is a Latin country, so we are like a really open, and they say, okay, so maybe in Asia, so in Japan, the people are like a more, how can I say, more decent than you. You are too active. But actually, I felt pretty much welcome here in my lab, in the extracurricular activities with my friends from other countries. So yes, I think it's that. The environment is really warm, and they give a very warm welcome to international students.
I think when you hear about Japan, you think about Tokyo or you think about Kyoto, and Osaka is usually left out of the equation. But if you give Osaka University and Osaka a chance, I think you really fall in love with this place.
Actually, Osaka University has the most, well, like every semester they have a lot of exchange students as well as regular students who are also foreigners here. So if you are having concern whether you will be, can you really adapt to the life here? Well, the communities of foreigners here will definitely make you feel at home.
I remember back when I was back in Mongolia and dreaming to come to study here in Japan. And now I'm here in Japan studying at Osaka University. So you might be afraid of not knowing Japanese and coming to a place of new language, new environment, and new people. And if you're worried about that, I want to say that please don't worry about that, because people here in Japan are so kind, they are so polite. But not only Japanese people, but also like international students here at Osaka University are so kind. They care each other, they support each other. So here in Japan is a good place to live. Here in Osaka University is very nice place to study. So people who considering about studying at Osaka University, I highly recommend you my university. And last but not least, they have a lot of scholarship programs that you can apply. So search about it through the page, and we're waiting for you to come here.
I wanted to say that Osaka University is not only a prestigious university in Japan and in the world, with first-level researchers and programs of study, but it is also a place with magnificent people and an environment that will make you feel warmly welcome. So what are you waiting for?